The old man built. The old man built. The old man built. The old man built. The old man builds is broken in the head. People not seeing reality has put them in the red. Where conscious and spirituality been stricken from the norm and replaced with the ignorance of basic magnetic form. The geometry of God keeps running through his head. That's what makes old man builds broken in the head. The old man builds. The old man builds. Spheres of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Nathan, otherwise known as an Old Man Builds. What's going on, guys? Man, hope everybody out there had a very good Christmas, got everything that you wanted, and everything went well for you. Hopefully, you all stayed safe. Man, tomorrow's New Year. 2026 is here, and it's going to be a fun year, guys. Can't wait. Got a lot of cool projects in store for you. A lot of things to build, a lot of things to do. With that said, man, how's everybody doing out there? Hey, how you doing, Lightspeed, man? Right on, brother. John. Awesome. Yanni. What's up, Dispatch? What's going on, Dennis? Man. Time energy, man. What's on, brother? Oh, man. Nash Chaser. Right on, brother. Sorry, I probably said that all wrong. Anyway, guys, look, I'm happy to be here, man. I had a good holiday. Got some cool new stuff like everybody else. I got a new chair, kind of sitting a little lower into it, not used to it yet, but it's pretty cool. Got a whole bunch of new stuff coming in. We got some new stuff coming in for wireless for my, I don't want to say it, for all my shows and stuff like that. For every time I do the video, because I'm having problems with the wired one, doesn't sound as good. So I ordered a wireless one. That should be pretty cool, man. We got a bunch of cool stuff that came in, man. I just got 10 pounds of 24 gauge wire for my Bedini motor that I'm building. So that's pretty cool, man. I'm excited about that. That also goes to the Renegade that I'm building as well from Mike's channel, from League of Extraordinary Inventors. Dude, this is exciting. And then I finally got ChatGPT to agree with me on something, which isn't easy all the time. It's something that has to do with Sean's circuit he created the Uber circuit in order to do AC on the Tesla coil. But the geometry he used in the circular Tesla coil tells the story here. So let me explain a little bit. When we put the wire down the Tesla coil, and you guys know I'm good at this, when we first did it, what mimicked it was when Sean did the Death Star Tesla coil, which is the round Tesla coil. And what ChatGPT was actually saying is that it was not just mimicking it, it was giving it the same power in AC. And just understand the significance of this. You're taking aluminum, you're starting to heat a little bit, you're putting induction into it, you're setting a premise in order for your gravity flyer to have energy into it. And then when you hit it with AC, what happens? It does the secondary portion of it. Massive eddy currents in this thing. It spikes in energy level, okay, and goes through the roof. Now we have something that is coupled, but is coupled more strongly than the first version we have. We now have something that gives it tremendous power when popped. So, learning some of the secrets here. Okay, we learned to stall the motors. We learned to pop the AC. Again, total difference, because it's a, I don't want to say this, it's written all over the world, and we just had to follow it the right way. And I kept thinking to myself, Why does a guy keep telling me that he has anti-gravity, but he's using an inverter? And I kept having to think about it. Well, the inverter makes a sine wave, which so you got AC, that's correct. But if it's in oscillation mode, what are you getting? You're going back to DC at that point, which is 3 stages of DC power, right? You got 3 different heights. Okay? I call them frequencies, 3 different frequencies of it in short duration. So you got a longer, a medium, and a short, right? And that's generally how it goes. But you're doing it on oscillation like this, right? So you're playing with DC in one side, you're playing with AC on the other side. So it only makes sense to go back and forth between the two, creating the thing so that you can do an AC and DC works perfectly, but it goes to Sean's Uber circuit. This is what's important. He learned that you can run this thing on DC to start it up and then switch it to AC. So what does that mean? It basically means, man, we got something that'll pop. We have the back pressure already built in. It's already in. Let's get it set in DC, and then let's pop the power in AC. If you know anything about AC levitation, you know this. Aluminum hits a massive level of increased power as soon as you hit it with an AC signal, and it'll jump if you have a coil underneath it. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Now we got it. This isn't that hard. So yeah, totally awesome. Totally, really awesome, man. Happy about that. Oh, let's see. It's good to see you, Mr. Raymond. Let's see, for James Cylinder, oh man, James, he pulled a fast one on everybody. Only a tiny amount of antimatter would do to create an effective device. I could tell you antimatter is not exactly what you think it is. And it has to do more with the conversion of, I want to say this, conversion of existence. It goes into how light creates plasma and plasma creates matter. And that effect, that amount of energy, you're not getting in anything that you personally create. That only the big man upstairs gets to create that one, and it comes through. But antimatter is not something that, on a general basis, anybody can do. So, kind of goes to creation and how that works. Right on, Sean. Nice to see you here, brother. We're just talking about your Uber circuit, man. I'm over here working on this thing. Sean sent me one. Thank you for that. And I put it up on the whiteboard, and I'm looking at it and trying to figure out just where everything goes so that we can set, I should probably go back a little bit. He uses 1/8" hollow copper in order to set the circuit on this thing, right? So what it does is it makes the channel stronger. For those of you who don't know, when you get into the electrical circuits, a channel is what goes from one wire to the next, right? One connection to the next. And it usually heats up, and what it'll do is throw back heat right back into your MOSFET and destroy it. Sean says use this copper, and we can eliminate some of that because it can withstand the energy being put into it so it doesn't overheat. Okay, so the simple answer to that is what we have to do is let's just take this 1/8" copper and let's put it in epoxy. So think about this. We create this little thin dish, right? We put in the piping that goes like this, and you can think of it just like house piping. Okay, you put it in, you set it, and you have a schematic of where it goes. Okay, and now all you got to do is fill in the little thing all the way up to a certain level of epoxy, and then all the connections go above that. So all the connections are outside the epoxy, the resistor, the diodes, everything outside of it, right? On the railing, so on all of our channels, we're putting those in the epoxy. So now we have a perfect set. Now we're able to take this thing and we're going to be able to run whatever we want, but it's going to stay consistent and clean, usable. Okay, it's not going to fall apart on us, and it's going to put massive amount of power through it. I'm excited about this, man. Sean was showing me the circuit before, and he has no problems. He says he has over 50 runs on it with the circuit that he sent me. So that's exciting, man. So I'm excited to get into this one, man. I want to thank the Lightspeed out there, 50 man build membership, guys. Totally awesome. I just dropped a couple of videos on this on how to build things in CAD and just kind of a walkthrough on a couple different videos in there, man. If you're into that kind of stuff, it's awesome. You can just build all the plastics that I build fairly easy. I could tell you it takes a lot longer to make the video than it does for me to work that CAD. But yeah, I want to thank you, Lightspeed, man. Awesome, brother. He's also Lightspeed's out there working on an awesome project. He's built a computer program that'll actually pull in the all of your systems together, and I can't wait to get my hands on this thing. Okay, look, when you can control voltage, amperage, you can control what's going on in your oscilloscope, and you can control what's going on thermal in everything that you do, and then you have sensors out there to pick up all your EM fields. Okay, then you got something awesome, man. He put it into one package, and I'm excited to see how each part is done. I mean, I don't know how all that works to get that all into one computer system, but he's doing it, man. And then what on top of that in there, and I'll call it like a correction code or something, he's got a program that'll help you align everything. So even when it's built and you see all the numbers come across, you're not just getting raw data, you're getting a program that helps you put this thing together the right way to get everything clean. Hey, this field needs this much more energy. This field needs this much less energy. This needs to be pushed a little more. And then you're getting into the right zone right away. I'm really excited, man. That one's going to be good. That's this year, guys. He's already got most of it built going. And any help he needs from me, by all means, I'll do it. But I'm excited about that, man. Mike Faraday, what's up, brother? Mike had some cool breakthroughs on his battery, and he was putting them out there, man. Right on, Mike. Dude, I'm real close, brother. We're first one I'm gonna do is the Bedini motor, and I got all that stuff set up. So January is gonna be my Bedini motor. Renegade is going to be February. I am setting up the whole month to do that. I now have, I just said I got 10 pounds of wire in. I finally got what I needed to get this stuff done. So I spent, God, man, maybe $700-800 here in the last couple of days getting my final pieces for what I need. You know what I mean? For everything. And I finally got my list accomplished. So as I've been working through things, man, I got a lot of cool stuff. So what you're going to see here in January is we're not just doing the regular Bedini one circuit, man. We're doing the big one. So we're going to take the big wheel. Okay, I got an aluminum wheel right behind me. You could probably see it right there. Okay, I got two of them, and we're putting the regular magnets on it just like he had. We're going to put the big giant fan on the outside just like he had. I got all the wood sitting over here next to my toolbox, and we're going to be shaping that. I have all of the circuits that came in already, from the diodes, the resistors, the transistors, all of it's here. I believe it's 6 transistors, or 6 or 8, something like that, in order to build this thing. And we got the massive coil that goes underneath. So it's the bifilar coil with the trigger wire that's going into it that we're going to be using. So for those of you who didn't know how we did the other coil that we did, Ben's coil, the Rodin coil, when we twisted it, I'm going to show you guys how that's done, how you run the length of it, get everything close together, put it on your drill, get it twisted, get it all done so we can run the bifilar on it. I'll probably come out with a few extra SCLs in order to build everything, man. That's going to be awesome. So that's going to be January. I'm only going to do one build for the whole month, guys. I'm going to put all the stuff behind the scenes on the members of any of the extra stuff that we do, you know what I mean? The long form content of it, so you guys can get a real good picture of it, all that stuff. I'll do a 45 to an hour and a half video, 45 minutes or an hour and a half video on it for my regular channel, so everybody gets to enjoy it. But if you want special content on there, I'm going to have plenty of it for you on that. Like I said, February is going to be Renegade. We're going to be all up in Mike's business all of February, getting that whole thing done. and then communicating with him on it. That's going to be fun, man. Bernie says he's going to be here on the 15th of 15th of January. I'm excited about that. He'll be here setting up shop. So what we have going on for him is I'm buying a bunch of mason jars out there, and he's going to be setting up a lot of electrolysis experiments. We got him a whole workshop area to work on, man. And I'm excited about that because it's going to be really cool. Got a microscope for him so we can go in there and start recording some of that stuff that's going on in there so you can see it broken down, what it actually looks like under the microscope when it's broken down. Some of that cool stuff, man, that we don't usually get to see. He's going to be doing it. He's going to be working on both the Bedini and the Renegade with me. We're all going to put time into the Gravity Flyer when he's here because we got that power to put in there from the Tesla coil for Sean's. So we got some exciting stuff, man. Really exciting. And then when Lightspeed, man, sends me that stuff, we're going to have that. And that's going to go around the Gravity Flyer, man. And then it's also going to go around the RAV. So I have everything here to set up my lab, just like Sean's for the RAV. The only thing I don't have is the microscope that he has, which I really want to get one of those. So I think I'm going to plan for next month. I'm going to pick one up. And then that'll also help us with Bernie stuff, and it'll also help us, man, with the RAV and seeing all that crystal like Sean gets to see. So, yeah, man, we got some good stuff. I've been putting in the time and the money to get this stuff put in here. People have been donating to the show. I just want to thank everybody that gives the memberships to the show. I want to thank everybody that donates the money to the show, dude. It's going to a great purpose. This year, man, I'm really going to put it out and fill in the resume, if you know what I mean. And then, guys, in March, we're going all Tesla. I'm going to show you so much stuff on Tesla. And I'm going to put it in the form that everybody has been asking for that's outside of our circle. They all want it in the correct mathematical form and equations. And based on Tesla's understanding of the Tesla coil that we work with, okay, then the bipolar Tesla coil, then his coil. So I have a special build that I'm doing for a Tesla coil that matches the style he did. I'm super excited about that. But yeah, it's a really cool stuff, man. And it's going to go right into Tesla Tech is what we're looking for. We're going to change some things, man. And I can tell you, man, from one thing to another, when it comes to Tesla, there's a great deal of information there that has to be given out. That'll be a 3-hour video, man. And like I said, it'll have all the mathematics in it. I've been working on it for quite a while. So I'm excited, man. I got the first 3 months planned out, and hopefully everything goes well. I'm pretty sure it will. Some of this stuff, it's just a matter of getting out there and getting it done. So Sean's Ugly Uber Circuit. Circuit's great, man. I'll tell you what, I blew up so many ZVS boards already that having a circuit that'll turn on all the time, man, is absolutely amazing. AC does not like every circuit. I can tell you that right now. Matter of fact, it hates some of them. I think I was just, I don't even know what to say. I got a box full of them that doesn't like AC. So if Sean's got the answer, man, I'm here for it. Cold fusion is back on the table. Well, I could probably tell you a lot of things about that kind of stuff. When we did the RAV, man, I know it's not technically cold in what's going on in there, but it's it is fairly cold. So I'll just put it that way. When it comes to plasma, that is. You're going to build STLs as far out of it. Nice. Very good. So if you're doing fusion, man, I'd love to see it. Love to see it, man. That's going to be awesome. If you need any help, let me know, man. Just to hit me up. I'd be happy to, you know what I mean, give you any information you need or anything like that. Fusion, man. I think it's easier than people think. but I think the geometries that people get messed up on is why they fail. I mean, you got to understand if you're putting things in the form of a donut, that's not natural to the world. And it's got to be more of a Dyson sphere. So you're looking at something that shapes out in a sphere shape, not a donut shape. And there's a couple different reasons for that. And it has to do with magnetic field and the way it actually propagates in order to make things spherical instead of donut shape. Donut shape is a compression of magnetism that you don't want because you're using a high expense in order to get it to work the way you want it to, instead of letting it flow naturally, which is a spherical shape, which means it's less money in compression of the field. But you're going to get a higher compression rate based on the spherical nature of it than you ever would in the form of a donut. So I think it's kind of the world's misunderstanding. If you ever saw the world, okay, and you see this look on it, it goes like this, makes an S, okay? It goes down, it makes an S. Why is that? It's because it's the way the magnetic field is flowing. You have two counter-rotating fields going like this in a steady zone in the center, so it forms the S, right? Well, that's kind of what you're looking for when you're doing something like this. You want to make sure the fields are aligning. You're going to have the S shape in magnetism. You're going to have the counter shapes that go like this in eddy currents. You have to account for those. There's two different sides of the field. You're going to get a third and a fourth vector that go in at an angle like this and one like this. I don't think people realize those are there, but they are, and they don't show up in a donut shape. They show up in a spherical shape. That's why they're created that way. You have different zonings going on. You say, okay, you have induction going on, okay? That happens in our atmosphere all the time, so you have to account for it. But it also means in plasma physics it'll heat up the energy by itself. So kind of interesting, man. Yeah. I don't create donut shapes for things, man. Sean, thank you very much, brother. I really do appreciate it. Sean, take care of me all the time, man. I got to get with Sean tomorrow if he's available. We get that Uber circuit worked out, man. Thank you, Sean. I really do appreciate it. Man, how much have I smoked? I don't smoke that stuff, dude, and I don't appreciate the whatever the hell you're trying to go with there. Look, man, I've been building energy for a long time. High voltage, everything, okay? Long time. I know what's going on in it, brother. So, yeah, really cool stuff going on, man. Yeah. If you guys could only see the world through my eyes for a little while, it'd be totally awesome. I think when Joe and I, because we're working on that show together, once we get it rolling on the other channel, man, you guys will be happy. You'll finally see what I'm looking at. And we're gonna get so many people are gonna finally understand some things, man, and why it's so important to understand high voltage and how it works in the atmosphere and lightning and everything else, and why it all ties in. So I'm excited about that. How many volts am I up to? Well, basically we try to stick around, I don't know, 60 to 70,000 volts. Okay. I push that number a bit. I can tell you that right now with voltage multipliers, when you run, AC flybacks and you start to put in some heavier numbers. Now I do know some people out there like Courtney Sams who's run that number way up higher than I have. And we were out there running his Tesla coil. He's got like a 9-foot Tesla coil, and we were running that bad boy. I'm sure he hit, well over 120,000 volts in that thing, man. That thing was awesome. I'm actually planning on in January, we're going to go back out there. He's going to donate an oscilloscope, an old school oscilloscope, so that we can look at ratios in the oscilloscope from the old school, just like Sheila does. So I'm excited about that, man. And yeah, we're going to really, really do some cool stuff. So I'll be hooking up with him here in the next few weeks and going out there at nighttime, man, once it stops raining. And we're gonna fire that thing up, man. I'm totally excited for that. Um, so Sean says he's hitting over 1,000,000 volts. He's got that AC going. I generally work in DC. Sean works in AC. Yeah, he hit 1,000,000. Well, how many inches is that off your Tesla coil? Because I got like 13 inches coming off my Tesla coil. So I don't think I'm anywhere close to Sean, but that was on the one that Sean and I built together. By the way, we invented the old man builds coil together, and that one will shoot 13 inches into the air without a problem. So, oh man, nice, 18 inches. Can you imagine that? He got 5 inches on me. Sean's got some awesome stuff going on, brother. Not only that, his plasma is, I don't want to say it, it's different. We get sword spikes out of the most Tesla coils that just go straight up or everything like that. He's getting tendrils and totally different kind of energy going on there. And it has to do with the compression of his Tesla coils that he builds, because he builds them like an AC flyback wrap that goes on the Tesla coil. And when you do that, it makes compression inside of it. When you do that, by the way, it changes the way that coil operates. Like I said, ChatGPT loved that coil when I told him I wanted to build an asymmetrical capacitor with 3 plates, with them 3 plates being aluminum and rotating. And they told me, not with a regular Tesla coil, it's not going to work very well. So I described to them what Sean's geometry coil did. And they just like, it was like sunshine just went through ChatGPT, and they're like, okay, that's exactly what you needed. So scary how that works, huh? Oh man. You put a short Tesla coil on my, he did actually. Hold on a minute. Let me pull that up for you guys. So be a second. There's the Zuber circuit. So let me show you this here, guys. When he's showing you both the Variac, and then he's also showing you the DC power supply, it's because he's running both. So he'll get the DC up to 12 volts, prime the circuit, right? And then as that's going on, he turns on the AC up to about 30 volts, which is probably where he had it. I'll check real quick. And that's how he starts it up. Let's see what it says. Yeah, 35 volts is what I see in there right now. So yeah, that's how he's getting it done. He's got one to prime it, then the next one to hit. So we'll see what that circuit's going to take, man. When I shoot it straight to 40 volts, Sean's going to be mad at me, but I'm gonna push this thing just a little bit after we get it working and test everything. Yeah, beautiful tendrils on there. Okay, let me show you something real quick. Let me see if I get good. There we go. So as you can see, Sean uses copper pipe as the as a go-between, as a conduit. So he's basically taking out the little scraps that they put in there, the little thin stuff that goes on the ZVS, and he's using 1/8-inch pipe in order to do it. And it takes away from the stress of the circuit, so you're getting less feedback to the transistor at that point, or MOSFET in this case. But yeah, awesome, brother. Let's see. I got my prints for the reactor, the cold fusion testing, and having running up there in New York. Right on. That's awesome, brother. Yeah, I'll show you guys this one more time. It's shooting off some plasma. Yeah, I am curious about Sean. Why do you have two breakouts? Did you have a wire break or something? Or did you just build it differently? Because you can clearly see he's got a breakout on the left and a breakout on the right. Oh, man. Effective way to make deuterium. Oh, man. Watch. Oh, how do I say it? Come on, Nathan. Danny Jones' channel. He just had someone on there talking about the Great Pyramid. And Danny brought up deuterium, and they were discussing how to make it on there. The guy that was talking about the pyramids was talking about how they were doing ammonia and stuff like that, and how they created those substances inside of those reaction chambers. But they also brought up deuterium. So I don't know if that's going to help you or not, but it's worth the watch to see it. I'm sure somebody's got a good way to do it. I don't. What is deuterium, like H3 or something? I'm not even sure. So yeah, I'm not the expert on that one. Wire break. That makes sense. Did you see my latest video? I will pull it up. Give me 1 second. Sorry, Dennis. Give me just a second. Oh, you're watching on the cell phone again, aren't you? All right, I'm gonna have to look up your thing then. Okay. Sorry, guys. Just give me a second. I wanted to pull up his video for him real quick. Yeah, usually you can click on something, man, and it'll pull up everything. And on this one, I have to type everything in if it's on the cell phone one. Okay, we're gonna have to get back to that, man. Sorry about that, Dennis. I have to get back to that so I can click on your page real quick. You know, you saw that when he was talking about making ammonia. Yeah, so let me take this down. What he was saying is they're making ammonia in some of them, and they're talking about fertilizers and stuff like that. So in the Great Pyramid, they had how do I say it? They were making ammonia in one. They're making uh, something in the other, and they're telling about how the water went through it and everything, and then how they were able to pull the energy out. And they said they started everything with lightning, and I just kept laughing to myself because every time they started talking about it, they're describing how ball lightning works, right? In the process, they're not saying ball lightning. He says keep starting by lightning, but I can tell you ball lightning is part of the process and what they're doing. And it has to go with why the RAV is working and what it's doing and what it actually is, and the fact that it mimics ball lightning. And you get to see exactly why it works that way. It's very, very interesting in the way he says it, in the actual measurements that he uses, stuff like that, to quantify things, and where he shows exactly how they're making the energy, how it's being pumped into there. They're pulling gas reserves out of the ground. They're using the energy of the earth for stuff in the earth in order to make things green. And they were talking a little bit, and I'd say a very little bit, about terraforming the sand area that they were in the desert. Dude, it was totally awesome. It was well worth the watch. I'll tell you, anybody out there, I think he's on to something. I think he's got the right idea. I think the understanding of the uh, ball lightning, the Rav, all of that is all over Egypt in their hieroglyphs. I don't know if anybody really understands how that means. I mean, you got to really think about it. If you understand that we're made of light and you go through what the actual process that would be in order to make that, you have to understand something. There's a channel that goes through that's on the other side. You could say it's the other side of Planck's distance. You could say it's on the other side of a wall of the third dimension and fourth dimension. I don't really care how you define it. It's the wall between what we know as reality and what reality started as. And when it goes through to that, it's the antimatter matter conversion, wherever you want to say. It goes through the sun as a conduit to make everything, and it automatically builds everything out. So what you're getting is a conversion from light that goes through to a plasma state that goes to a matter state, and it all builds out in a geometrical structure that comes out. You get a lattice structure for everything. It builds it out. So it's interesting in what they do, and that's what's in Egypt all over the place, man. It's all over the world in how this goes. We see it as, circles. We see it as the bullet mark. You know what I mean? The different circles, all that goes on. We see it as a golden ratio. This is why they use mathematics the way that they did. They use Pythagorean theorem instead of algebra to do a lot of this stuff. It's just total different understanding of the way the world works and how to make it a type 1 civilization. I thought it was totally awesome. Oh, Sean's got another video for us here. Let's take a look at this. Look at that, just eats right up. We got to put this thing in slow motion, Sean. You have color distortion that's going on everywhere inside of your plasma. You can see it, guys, when it runs up the side. Watch, here it goes. It's starting over. Watch the plasma itself. It goes green. So it says they taught it in ratios, not math. That is true. In a certain way, you got to understand what a lattice is. Lattice is just a bunch of ratios. I mean, you got to start seeing it that way. You have multiple things at the same exact length, right? So that's what you're looking at in a lot of this stuff. But what is that? That's a ratio. When you look at it and how you build out the ratios, Sheila was showing it makes the flower shape, right? But that's just the flower of life and how it's made. But when you start looking at things and you start looking at orbits on how it actually looks and how it comes around and loops and goes, well, there's your flower shape. But when you go to the points of every one of those, it makes a geometric shape. And you got to understand how that works. Once you understand that, geometry was the perfect way to do it. And you have to use, oh man, I forgot what his name was. Such with the UC, no, it's EU Euclid. I can't remember his name. The guy in math that did the equations and everything, and he was telling you how everything works with a protractor, and how that works. So basically, when you're looking at it and you have it and you put it on something, you make a circle that goes around, right? Put it on the dot, make the circle, right? And he's showing you how everything works and where the lines are, what they're not doing, and showing you that it's the dimensionality of it. So where you can create the line that goes here to here, it also means that when I come up and put it at an angle here, it also works. When I put it at an angle here, it also works. What does that mean? It makes a geometrical shape, because everything that you do inside these things, when you look at the way light would look at it, light looks at everything like a mirror. So when it goes into the mirror, it sees it in a different area, in a different shape. So when you understand that, then you can understand why he was right versus the way they do things now in geometry. Excuse me, they do things now in algebra when they put the points on there because there's no mirror effect. You'll never you'll never understand it that way. But when you put it in the correct geometry and then you put mirrors around it, it shows you every different side of it as it goes to the mirror. So if you had one line sitting in the center with mirrors around it and say there are 20 mirrors, well, then that 20 mirrors would make a geometrical shape inside of it. But that's exactly what light does when it goes to put out a lattice in order to make matter. It sees it through the mirror. It doesn't see it through everything else because light's a reflection. Light's, I mean, it's a reflection of an energy source that's on something, and it emits photons, which is basically the higher energy state of whatever it hits, puts it into the higher energy state and reflects it back. That means it sees it in mirrors. Okay, just if you can put that through your head on how that works, then you can understand why his way was so much better. I should really find the name of that guy because I watched an awesome video on it, but they wouldn't know anything about the mirrored effect on that. But yeah, and I do not disagree with anybody about harmonics and everything else. That's all part of it. One thing I think we'll find this year, guys, and I think everybody here that's ever watched this channel knows it, okay? Resonance, harmonics, geometrical structures, uh, you know what I mean? Everything that we look at here, it's all in there. It's all of the divine plan on how things are built. There's no getting around it. It's all there. If you don't understand that, life's going to be very hard for you to really understand what's going on. It's all part of the structure of how everything's built out. It's not it's not something that you can take out of it because you can clearly see it in everything that's built right. And all you have to do is call it out. I've watched some people, man, in physics, they look at it and it's right in front of them and they just won't say it. I stopped watching those type of channels, guys. I just said, you know what? If you want to show it to me 50 times without saying the words, then we're done because I have no time for you. I want to see that you know what it is because we all know it. We all understand the harmonics. We all understand the geometrical structures. We all understand how everything builds out. All of it. It's it's all part of the divine plan and how things work, man, when you build structure. Not very difficult. Energy's one way until you compress it, then it changes. High energy states are different than low energy states, but it's all the same energy. It all depends on how much pressure you put on it and how you do things. You get different effects out of it. That's why gravity's not a fundamental force, it's an effect. Math and gravity does not work out ever as a fundamental force. As soon as you create it as an effect, it 100% works out mathematically. So take that one to the bank. Yeah, I'll have to find that. Let me look at it. Maybe I have it on my history list right here. Yeah, I watched a lot of stuff. Okay. EUCLID, Euclid. EUCLID. In geometry. Here, I'll share the thing here with you in case you guys are into that kind of stuff. There you go, right there. There's the video I was watching. Has everything to do with geometry and how they build it out, and very interesting. I love that kind of mathematics when they deal with geometry. I don't like algebra that much. Algebra is about equaling things out, and there's nothing in here that's ever equaled out hardly when it comes to physics. It's usually built out in geometry. That's why it's a lot easier to do it in geometry. Sean showed some photos to share. Absolutely. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. There we are. Yeah, Sean's building out geometry in there. That's definitely got it going on in there. He said it was a specific name. Sean, you mind putting it up there for everybody? It's a fractal, is what he's doing, but he's building out a certain type of fractal on high voltage when he's doing this. So just understand this, guys. Sean was asking this question before. Has to do with geometry. Why is it that in his plasma he's getting geometry? And it has to do with frequency. Harmonics and geometry, frequency, all making the fundamental shapes that everything's built in. So when we look at this kind of stuff, just understand that that's why he's getting it. There's no getting around it. It makes the fractal geometry and everything when you build it out. So it'll redo glass. Glass is already in a hardened state when it's made. And then you can see it build out like this. He calls it the Julia set. And that's because if you look that up in physics or on Wikipedia, it'll tell you all about it on the Julia set and how they're built out. But he's definitely got it. There's no question about it. Show you another one here. It builds out. You see it. And it'll go as the high voltage goes. So you can see all the different fractals on the outside when you start looking at this thing. And like you said, it built out the Julia set inside of it. It's pretty interesting, man, because it does it right away, too. Let's see. Plasma is based on matter, even if matter is smaller than a light wave, you can infer that it is doing, and we can make it fractal. Record it. Well, okay. But the plasma was made out of light. The light went into plasma and made it. And we could show that in high voltage physics. We can also show that once you make the plasma, then it can come out fractally and interfere with any matter that's there and reset it in that way. But it also, you can build it out by itself. So plasma manifests its own dust. Yes, it does. Okay, it will create matter on its own. Not to say that John was wrong, because John was right in that, and it will transmutate everything as well. That's for sure. But guys, we're talking about energy states. I mean, we've seen the light to plasma, plasma to matter states already. So we already know how it builds out. And it's going to create a state that, for those of you who haven't seen it, it basically goes and does a mirror of itself. So as you're creating the RAV on one side, you know what I mean? You see this plasma built out along this line. It goes like this. But on the opposite, it's the same thing, and it just has a darker spot. I'd warn everybody out there who's looking for Planet X, I don't think it's actually a planet. Okay, there is something on the outside of our solar system that mirrors the energy of our solar system that actually will give off something that'll go in a rotational feature. So if you've ever looked at our magnetosphere, it goes like this. On one side, it goes circular, right? Like a half circle. But on the other side of it, it does a figure eight, like this. Just an open loop figure eight that goes back to here. Why is that? Because it's attaining some sort of mass over here that it doesn't quite know what to do with, and it's not quite light, okay? But it is energy. What is it? And it's energy through, the Bloch wall, or if that's what you want to call it. It's energy through the conversion of antimatter to matter. However you want to see that, that's what it is that's swinging on this. So you're getting the same thing in our solar system. The actual energy in Earth and everywhere else, it's all repeater, guys. It literally repeats itself on how it works. So outside of our solar system, there's another amount of mass that is probably built the same exact way as what I'm trying to tell you. And it'll have a flow to it. So why do things fling onto our solar system? Because that flow exists. That flow right there exists. It pulls things in. So, let's see. I think the dust from the elements is used. Yeah, well, of course it is. If there's anything out there, it's used. We were showing that a while back that once it finds something in space, it likes to grow from that, no matter how small it is. Okay. The dust exists between the folds of the plasmoid. That's from because of the dust condensation. It could very well be. I'm not disputing anybody here, guys. You need to figure out how to hook up these power supply. You start doing this too. Which ones do you have? Did you buy the? I won't say it. The one Sean said recommended, and then there was another one he recommended with it, which was like a $30 converter from 110 to two something, and then you had to buy a foreign plug for it. Yeah, that one set me off for a couple days. You had to buy the foreign plug for it to plug it in there, and then switch it over, which was actually pretty easy because it went to 220, so the lines were, you can switch them and it wouldn't matter because they're both power lines. And then there were two parts that came out. Let me know if that's what you're talking about, because Sean sent me something on that, and I probably need to show everybody that too. Show the glass tube. Okay, I showed the glass one, Sean. Give me a second. I'll show it again. Sorry, there's no sound on it. Let me turn the sound back on. You can hear it etching glass. He said, yeah, the step-up transformer, the dangerous looking Chinese thing. Give me a second. I'll grab mine while this is going on. Yeah, guys, on this video, I'll slow it down for you because you're going to see some awesome colors inside there. You can already see the green at the top. But yeah, this video slowed down looks so much better. That's awesome, though. I love that green up there. Okay, real quick. This is what we're talking about right here for the RAV experiments. This one right here. This is what Sean told us to get right here. Okay. I'm getting the wires straightened out in here. Sorry. There's two red wires that come out of it. Okay, pretty simple. It's 220, so the plug goes into 220. So each red wire just connect to the another wire that goes into one of these. This is the foreign plug right here that you're going to need. And like I said, it's 220 volts, so each side hits 110. So the two red wires are both hot. There's no grounding in this. Okay. Now, what you'll also get with that, if you bought it, is this piece right here. And it's just basically a step up. So it steps up your 110 to 210. And then it'll go in just like this with the two prongs right here. They're going to go into these two right here. Sorry. They're going to go into these two right here. That's it. So you don't want that one right there. You can see that. Sorry, I'm trying to get the lighting where you can see it. There you go. There's 3 holes on that. You just want the 2. You want the upper and lower one. And then that foreign plug goes right in there. Just like that. Okay. Now you have to buy these separate. They probably come with another end. I got one on Amazon for $20. It had this, and then it had some other foreign end to it. Didn't care as long as it had the 2 wires connected to it, which is perfect for what you need. So on Amazon, you can get one of these right here. Just look for it like this, okay? I don't remember if it was Type C or Type G. Well, I don't remember which one it was, but this is the one you need. Then you'll have the plug in. It goes to there. It's a step up. It goes into there. And then, and I'm sure Sean will tell me right here, yeah, it's the black wire. Right here, the black wire and the red wire. Those are the 2 wires you need. The white wire gets capped off, okay? And I usually put the red at the top, black at the bottom, okay? But that's how you build out the parts on the RAV. So pretty cheap. I think this one was like $30 on Amazon. And I think this one, Sean says it was about $100 or something like that on Amazon. Fairly cheap. And then you got to buy the $20 cord. And like I said, just buy one of the foreign cords that has 2 wires to it. Cut the end off, man, and just hook the 2 up to the red. You'll be good to go, man. And this thing will be set up and ready to go for your RAV experiments. So I'll do a better job, guys. I'll get you guys out a video on this along with the links for the parts and stuff like that. I'll make the video after the show today. That way you guys have it. So another way to do this, if... oh, okay, it's smaller. I think you're going to be all right, man. We're not, the size of the RAV is not terribly huge. The lighting that comes off, it's fantastic. I actually just got in. We got this right here. So we're going to find out what radiation comes off of this stuff that I've been working with. Yeah, I know. One of the things you should have bought first, huh? Yeah, well, didn't do that. So yeah, we're going to be running that, man. And we're going to check out any radiation, stuff like that. Guys, there's a lot of voltage that goes through this, but in some of this, man, it doesn't make a huge RAV right away. So make sure that you get your clay and everything. And I like to use, those little trays you get for your nuts and bolts at the hardware store. Usually use them for when you're working on your car or something like that. They got a little magnet underneath them. That seems to be a good tray to put this thing into. It's stainless steel. So it goes along with the anode that we usually use. We use stainless steel anodes for this. That usually works fairly good. If you're going to start this thing up for the first time, take a piece of clay out there. Make sure that it's at least this size, guys. Okay? At least that size. And the reason I say that is it likes to shoot the voltage over the edges. And instead of putting it in the right spot and working it so it's easier to turn on and off, then by all means, once you get this thing going and you understand what you're doing, shrink the size of the clay. Okay? But when you're first starting out, make sure you have a fairly large piece of clay out there. just to get through it. Throw a little bit of water underneath it, throw a little bit of water on top of it, and start this thing going, man. It may take a few minutes and it'll start burrowing a little bit. It'll find what it wants to break out into. It'll form a lattice structure. Now, Sean is the expert here, and he'll use a cathode that, I want to say this, as soon as you hit it with the energy, it melts, right? But it melts in a geometrical form right there. So then as soon as he starts it up, it melts down and goes in a smaller piece, but then you can immediately restart it and it'll make a RAV on it. And that has to do with you're making the cathode a geometrical structure in itself in order to bounce the frequency off of in order to make the RAV easier. Kind of trip how it works, but it's exactly the way he's doing it. Let's see. This is why you build your high voltage probes for your oscilloscope. Nice. Yeah, Sean made a big one, that's for sure. Nice. Sean's there for you in case you need some help when you go to set it up. Yeah, by all means, let me know. Hit me up on my email, and then we'll go through it, man. I have no problem with that. Something about shirts. I didn't say anything about shirts. I need to do that though. I need to connect my shirts account to my YouTube. That way everybody can get them if they want them. Right on, brother. Let me know. I'll pull up my email in case you send me one. Cool. Ooh, okay, hold on. We got some pictures here coming in from John. Nice. Okay, let me show that. Got himself a little Tesla coil. That's awesome, brother. Oh, yeah. Bernie was just sent one of those to my house, man, not that long ago. So those are actually pretty neat, man. I got a chance to play with that thing, man. One of those, actually fairly neat. That's on the lowest setting. You get a lot more out of it. Nice. Yeah, I like those things, man. Very, it is loud. Yeah. Nice. Should be flying in no time. Yeah. Yeah, he did have some big probes going on there. Oh, man, that cracked me up. Right on, man. That's cool, brother. Hold on. Setting the message. Oh, yeah. Take a look at that. Yeah, right there. Yeah, he's sitting for Bernie. And yes, it does work. Nice. So what are we looking at here, Sean? Okay, anode cathode effect, but you're going to rotate it. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, it does look like a planet. That's cool. By the way, this is how this is how Faraday did his experiments with a rod going down in a round ball. And you had Maxwell come in and makes a freaking donut. Wow, what a misunderstanding. That's really cool, Sean. Look at that. The camera doesn't move, yet all the lighting changes based on where the RAV is placed. Nice. Oh, do you guys see that? I did. Hold on. Some of these things, when they're zoomed in so much, you don't get to see everything. It's that shadow that comes around it. What everybody continuously calls a wave when it comes to the light. Well, that's what it is. Hold on, there it was. Right there. I don't know if you could vaguely see it on the right-hand side right there, but you could, it's like an outline, okay? And what happens is you amplify the RAV, that outline builds out more. And it's always there. You just don't always see it. It excites it enough for you to see it. That's actually what's going on between two things. Between like the sun and the earth, that's what happens out there is you have those things. Everybody calls it a wave. I don't necessarily see why. It's not really like a wave to me, but whatever. It's more like a structure that builds out like this, which it actually does in space. You just can't see it. But it's right there. And that's what goes over and creates your photon effect on planets or anything else. What's going on, Lulu? So interesting. Yeah, it's right there the whole time. I love how that thing dances with it. And I bet you, I got money that says if you pulled that camera out a little bit and shot this again, you're going to see the anti portion of that particular light right there on the other side of it. Just builds energy that way. So interesting because and this is known in physics, by the way. I'm not making anything up here. That actual part right there, that purple part that you're seeing, it uses a different kind of effect. So it's not, I want to say this, I want to say this. It's not a lens effect from the camera. It's a lens effect in the light itself. It's hitting a barrier of an energy zone and creating that. And when it does that, it focuses the light like it's a magnifying glass going to another area. That's what's actually happening. And if you looked up high voltage physics, you'd see that. That's exactly what it does. Oh, here we go. We got another one. This is his vacuum chamber right here. I can tell you that right now. Oh, look at it jump around in there. Oh, I got to slow this one down. Oh, hold on. No, I'm going to slow it down right now. I'll tell you what you're not seeing. Directional. Watch what happens to this thing. See if I can't find the spot. Right there. Okay. So what we're looking for in this right here, as soon as it blows out one side, Okay, and the energy will pop to the right. You'll see the actual RAV itself move. He is creating a directional force in the energy. Boom, there it was. You see it? As soon as you see what looks like lightning come out of it, it's a directional force. That's funny, man. Dancing on Bismuth. Nice. I don't think you understand, Sean. The most important part about this is the jump. Because you see it as soon as you see the energy burst out, it jumps. It's creating a direction, and it's instantaneous jump in some cases. We just saw it right there. It didn't jump just straight over a little bit. It jumped to a whole different area. Now, it's not obeying everybody's law like you think it is. This is why UFOs work the way they do. It's the increase in energy right there, and then boom, it goes right over to a different area. Calm, boom, hit it with the energy, it moves to a different area. That one went completely to the other side. High voltage doesn't lie to you. It shows you what it wants to do. Yeah, very much the case, the water itself. I heard a lot about hydrogen when it came into doing these RAV experiments. It's more about the air, to be very honest with you. Without the air, they suffocate and die. But they need air in them. Man, look at that. Just jumps. Look at that. Just jumps straight over to the other side. I don't think he's getting any static, are you, Sean? Interesting. That is a cool effect either way, man. I just love the way it jumps around. It says no static. Uh, wow. This is his only RAV that doesn't need air and water. Interesting. It's in a vacuum, that's for sure. All other RAVs need either air or water. It's the environmental condition you put it in. I tell you, space is different than it is here on the surface of the planet. Happy New Year, brother. Let's see. If you resonate a glass of water short distance away, it could probably resonate in your own hydrogen in your body. Sympathetic resonance. Interesting. When Bernie gets here, we're going to put that to the test because we're going to do a lot of water experiments with the RAV. I think he's got water in there in the chamber, to be honest with you. I think that's what John's pointing out, that he's got water in there, hits the water, and then boom, it bursts out. And it has to do with the energy it's given to it. Which, to be honest with you, would be very cool in itself because it would show you, a hydrogen oxygen break if that's the case. Bismuth replaces the clay in the vacuum RAV. So where's the bismuth, Sean? Is it sitting on bismuth? Is that what you're trying to say? Yes, John says yes, that's the way it was working. Nice. Yeah, dude, I don't disagree with John on that at all. It's hitting that water that's in there, and I can see it looks like the water, and it jumps. So he's right. Sean's got a vacuum water RAV. Yeah, he does. Give me just a second, Sean. I'll pull it up. Reminds me of dollars. Nice. What's up, Joe? Happy New Year, brother. All right, give me a second. Let me. This was that one. Go the other way. Oh, look at that. Okay, well, before we hit start, that's what he's on. He's on a piece of bismuth right there. And that does look like water. Let me check. Sean, is that water or is that dimples in the bismuth? Interesting. Oh, I wouldn't worry about it, John. I think he's on the same page as you, to be very honest with you. I've seen all the experiments, man. I think he's definitely on the same page as you. Okay, that looks like indentations in it. Huh. Very interesting. Oh, you meant dollar? Yeah, who knows, man. Yeah, it does look like a tree. He's got one. It looks like there's a little guy in it, man. I was looking at it earlier. I have to bring it up. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a different material, man. It puts off a different effect. Oh man. Do you ever feel like you just got hinted towards something? Think about what Sean just showed. He says it's going on the top of bismuth with high voltage, right? And it's having an immediate reaction where it jumps, right? It's not just a hey, let's move to the side. It's he's hitting it, it jumps. Okay. So when you talk about aluminum, bismuth, aluminum in the outside field of a craft, now think about what it's doing. You talk about UFOs and what you're seeing and what you understand them doing. It doesn't sit there and just move. It jumps. So what are we seeing? We put in a vector direction to it in one side of it, and the bismuth responds by giving you that sudden movement. Okay. That's awesome. Okay. Now we just got to be able to take that and put it into a uniform structure and see if it'll do the same thing. I think we just learned something right there, guys. There's something more to this. We're going to have to keep that in mind when we do experiments. That right there is important. So, Let's see. Have you seen what Master Evo has been coming out with lately? Any thoughts on what the 3 stages? Um, the only one that I seen Master Evo was a couple days ago, and he was talking about oh my god, some kind of currents. Uh, I forget the name right offhand. And let's see, he was talking about the thing being static electricity, and then it had a oh, I can't think of the name of the word, but basically a double diode effect on the energy where it pushes um, impulse currents, I think is what he's calling it. So it basically shove it down like this. But then again, a Tesla coil is built with impulse currents, okay? Because that's what it does. It spikes like this. It doesn't, it's not meandering. It's spiking. And then when you double diode it, it's actually a pulse DC is what you're creating. You're not creating AC in the traditional sense. You're creating a pulse DC in the way that it works. So that's one thing I had to get right when I was, figuring things out here. It's actually a pulse DC is what you're working with there. It's a fluctuation, and it can't be static electricity like you keep saying. And I'll just tell you why. When you build static electricity, that's built on a mechanical motion that takes anything, you know, I don't want to say this, anything with cloth or anything like that, and it builds up a static on the fabric itself, and then that goes into a wire, which brings out the electricity, which has certain effects, which will basically make your hair stand up, or take these little peanuts in there, little, packing peanuts, and you put them in there, and then it'll hold to the surface and create a surface charge, and then let it go, and they'll fly in the air. That's static electricity. The problem is this, the Tesla coil doesn't create static electricity. It creates high voltage potential. High voltage potential stays on the wire, will zap the living daylights out of you, but will have zero static effects. That effect when you get socks out of the laundry and they pull apart the way they do, that's a static effect. It has to do with mechanical motion. The Tesla coil does not have that. It does have a motion in it. Yes, it does go a direction, but it is not mechanical motion in the same way. Therefore, it cannot be static. It has to be high voltage potential. There is a difference. You're dealing with charge states and things like that in static electricity. You're not dealing with that so much in the high voltage state, though there is a charge state. It's not the same thing. I can tell you that from doing a bunch of experiments in static electricity versus high voltage states. The two look the same exact way on the oscilloscope. Okay? They do. They look exactly the same. It's the effect that they're having in the environment that they're in is different. So calling one to the other it's not the same. But he is right in the other stuff, the offset currents or whatever he wants to call it. That's all in that Tesla coil. So I've seen all that. Displacement currents, yes, all of that's there. He's really smart, man. I give him that. So, but I don't agree with the static electricity port at all. It's not right. All right. Sean's got another video for us here. Oh man, how many times have I seen that effect? Looks like angel wings. Oh, what's going on there? You got an earthquake? Sean, were you time traveling in your video, buddy? Wow, that looks cool. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, dude, if I saw something like that in the lab, I think I'd be time traveling. Look at that. Oh my God. Look, oh, here it comes. Dude, I'm just imagining the whole room shaking right now while that's going on. That's so cool. Yeah, I can't tell. Sean, is the camera shaking or is it just this thing shaking everything in the room? Oh my God, dude. Look at the size that thing gets to. All right, hold on. I'm gonna go back to this, guys. Just gonna pause it. Okay, hang on. Hang on. We're gonna get a better look at this. What the hell was that? What did he hit that thing with? This is so cool. I don't even know what the hell that is. He said vacuum pump. Gotcha. Well, that would make sense. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's a immediately bursted out bigger. So vacuum pump makes sense. Look at that. You got a double right there. I think it's Sean's over here time traveling on us. Trying to get a picture of it really big. There it is. Man, look at the amount of energy coming out of that thing. Dude, that's awesome. That thing must be massive. Nice. All right. He's got another video for us. Give me a second. Wow. Dude, shout out real quick. Darren, give 5 Old Man Build membership. Darren, you're awesome, brother. I appreciate it, man. Hope you're having a great new year, brother. Let's see what he's got. Oh, that's cool looking. You could see the Holy Cross in there, by the way. The 2 sides in the bottom of it, real clear. Yeah, look at that. It's like it's when you turn on the vacuum chamber, it seems like it's forcing the energy back into the flyback itself and then bursting it back out onto the scene. It's having an effect on the actual energy going in and out of it. That's interesting. It's like building a capacitance inside of the coil and then forcing it back out. Yeah, let's slow this down a little bit and see what's going on here. It reminds me when we did the double RAV. Pulling from one, pushed into the other. The compression in that's got to be what it is. The compression in the chamber is pushing the energy because the energy can be moved by ultrasound and other things like that. So you're getting the energy that's pushed back through the wires back into the coil itself. That's cool. Okay. That's cool. It's a pressure effect. Oh man, there's a lot more in that, Sean. You're getting compression within the chamber, which basically means it's like the compression in the earth. Once you have it in 360-degree form in the earth, you're getting a good compression on it. So it changes the energy in it and how it builds out. You're in a square box and it's building out a compression inside there. So you're compressing that energy in there to force it back into the AC flyback in which it came. Oh, that's awesome. And then they can't handle it. So there's too much compression in there. Capacitance goes on inside the coil, then it bursts back out. That's cool. That's next level. I agree with that, man. Nice. Yeah, Sean, if you want to come on, brother, here, I'll send you this. No pressure, brother. But if you're up for it, man, I'd love to speak with you. There you go. I sent you an invite, man. Let's see. Images shown. You can see a 100,000 frames a second record. You should see everything. Now, I agree with that, man. Yeah, I got that. I got a ZV-E10, man, that'll do stuff like that. I want to record that just like that. So, yeah, right on, man. Yeah, it's all good, Sean. Not a problem, brother. I appreciate the stuff that you're sending, man. This is awesome stuff. why does the light turn purple? So it's a different energy state, and it changes the wavelength inside of the energy to become a different color. You see it yellow, you see it white, you see it purple. I've seen it in pink. It goes through the colors of the rainbow. And you'll see it right here in the beginning. It bursts out into all different colors of light. Right there. Then like a white with a little bit of yellow on the outside. And the purple is the color on the, oh, look at that beautiful white right there. Look at that. Yeah, the color is based on the frequencies that are going on inside this thing. I should say the resonant frequency in this one. But light is controlled by frequency, so it'll change different colors. That's cool. That's beautiful white, man. Wow. Oh, I like this one. You could just see the ring around the entire thing. That's cool. Look at that. Probably something in there you guys should look at and notice. The rabbit self building out goes into the object right there on the bottom with the purple and the white on the inside, but then it reflects back to another little satellite that's right there on the bottom part. That's interesting. Huh. Wow. Yeah, it's so cool. He says, have you guys gotten a ND filter lens to place between your camera lens and the RAV? No, I haven't. That's one of the things I need to get. Nice. An email with the photo. Give me a second. Ooh, look at that. Okay, hold on real quick. I want to show this right here. Dennis sent me a picture of what he's got going on. Look at that. That's cool. Nice. Give me a second. I'm going to try this real quick. There we are, Dennis. I'm going to take a look at your latest video. It's probably in the shorts part. Go right there. Yeah, look at that. What's going on, Courtney, man? Hopefully you're having a great New Year, man. We're having fun right now. Right on. Yeah, I think we saw that. Oh, we saw it in this one. I haven't gotten on the outside of the jar. It must be the AC effect or something. So cool, man. Let's see. DC flyback, spark gap setup. Nice. The glasses ain't having. I agree with that. Let's see. Huh. Yeah, I'd like to see some do some simple experiments on the moon. You know, the kind of stuff we're doing here would be nice. I don't know that I want the government playing with the moon any more than that. They tend to blow stuff up. Nice. Right on, man. Those are cool stuff, man. You guys are all doing awesome work out there. Man, love plasma, man. I love shooting off volts of plasma. It's just the funnest thing, man, when you're having a bad day. So as long as that bad day doesn't translate and you're getting zapped. Oh, you sent another video? Nice. Give me 1 second, Sean. I'll pull it right up. It's not there just yet. Yeah, hard hat. Nice. You ordered a ZVS yesterday? Right on. What'd you get, man? I know they got 350, 500, and then 1,000 watts on the ZVS. Did you get the regular 1,000 watt one that we usually use on the channel, or did you get a smaller one? Some of the smaller ones are better for putting frequency into than some of the bigger ones. Interesting. Yeah, it brings a smile to your face. Right on. Right on. Sean likes that one too. Yeah, basically, when it comes down to the RAV, I mean, like I hate to tell you this, man, but high voltage built out in small, just like it does in big. You get a few extra effects when it goes really big, though. So, yeah. You want to just, excuse me, start? You want to go smaller? Right on. Dude, it's all good. You know, you could take a real tiny ZVS, man, and make a nice spark out of it. Those, I mean, you can always build a voltage multiplier, man, and then get the energy to really shoot with that. But you gotta use the AC flyback in that setup if you want to use a voltage multiplier. DC's no good at that. Right on, brother. Nice. Yeah, that's a good thing about high voltage and plasma, man. It starts to teach you about things in the universe you don't really think about. You know what I mean? How things are actually built, how things work. When you get into plasma physics and compression, okay, and very important compression, like we're showing in Sean's experiment there in the chamber. It's one of the most important things that you can find out and how things actually work. It's the compression that gives you the part to gravity that you need. I don't think a lot of people realize that. Why can the world not be flat? Because there's no compression in it. There just isn't. You can't have a flat earth because there's no compression in it. It has to be 360 degrees in order to get the compression. The compression is what gives you your extra effects. Okay. You know, you want to pull a higher energy source in, just think about how that worked. He pushed on the energy back into the core of an AC flyback, and it responded by giving him more energy back out. It worked like a pump. He pushed on the pump, and the pump pushed more energy back at him. But that's kind of the point, though, isn't it? You're working back and forth between a pump. That's one of the most outstanding ways to see it. You have nothing without compression. If you think you have a flat earth, you don't. I don't care what measurement per mile you give me. I don't care, you know what I mean? Any of that stuff. Okay. You get in an airplane, you could disprove flat earth real quick. Give me enough fuel, fly around, we could do a circle, and we're going in one direction. Okay. That's pretty simple. But the reason it doesn't work in physics is because of compression. A lot of these things, high voltage effects, requires compression. So, yeah, pretty interesting, man. Love it. I know on the Traveling Fools channel, man, I wasn't there this last Friday. They had a guy on that said it was a flat Earth, and he kept giving a measurement per distance. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, that doesn't even work with mountain ranges. You can't give me a drop off per foot. You know what I mean? As you go, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Because we all have highs and lows and everything. Just geographically, it's insane. It won't work that way. But the other problem is when you're in a rotation, if you give it so much distance per length on the drop off, well, then it makes more sense than it's round. A argument for flat Earth wouldn't be that. It would be that you know we go straight out and there's no drop off whatsoever. When you agree that there's a drop off every so many feet, then guess what? It has to be round. It can't be flat at that point. It's just it's hard to explain to somebody that that's the case, but it's actually geometrically the case when you do things. Compression has to be 360 degrees around to have gravity. You cannot have it halfway around a circle. It doesn't work. There's no compression there like you think there is. It requires all sides being compressed. Every time I see a picture of flat Earth, it looks like a flat piece in a dome. Well, that doesn't work. That's a barrier. That's a force field. That's not what you're looking at here. In order to get the actual amount of gravity we need, it has to be in a massive compression. Anyway, just thoughts on it, guys. You'll get there eventually. Yeah, well, I'm not going flat tard on you, that's for sure. No, thank you. Look, I already know how things build out. You know what I mean? Dude, you can't see the high voltage plasma the way I do, and then, or the way Sean does, or you know the way Joe sees it, and sit there and say that there's flat Earth. There's just no way. One of the things that builds out in nature is spheres, and it shows you that all over the place. You can just look up at the sun. I mean, is that flat too? Or are we only seeing the flat part of the sun? Does the sun literally go like a flat ass person? Has just a flat ass on it, and it comes out in a bubble on one side? Is that what we're seeing? I mean, because I doubt it. But that's kind of what you're saying. We all must live on Asgard if it's flat. I mean, I don't know about you, but I didn't get no patch over my eye in Odin powers, so I didn't see anything like that. Nope, not believing it, man. 360 degrees sphere makes all the sense in the world. Courtney knows we were doing his testicle, man, and that sphere showed itself. It showed itself in the energy all around it. There's no getting around it, man. Geometry matters. And geometry is when you put it in the wrong thing, means that you did something wrong if you're not getting the right effect. If you got to use massive amounts of magnetism to hold in your plasma, then you got a problem. And I'll tell you why. Plasma in spherical shape builds out its own layering. It'll build out the sheath layer, build out the magnetic layer, build out the eddy current layer. All of them are inside compressed plasma, but they all build out naturally. Their environmental condition will make them change a little bit, okay? That's why the compression matters on the outside. But it's not ever building out in a donut. When they wrote down the donut, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Just get this in your mind and think about it. If you're over here in your Faraday and you have this rod coming down, you have a sphere on the end of your rod, okay? That's what you got. You're doing tests on that, right? And you're going all around at 360 degrees around it, right? Then Maxwell comes along and says, okay, you want to say magnetism? Magnetism is this donut shape. Goes like this, right? And you go, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, how did you come up with a donut? He's working with a sphere. And oh, well, yeah, but when you get it in motion, then you have magnetism. You go, well, hold on. That means there's zero magnetism, so there is no donut. Just think about the understanding there. If you don't have magnetism until energy is in motion, it means that energy is linked to magnetism. Magnetism does not appear until energy is in motion. There is no donut. There just isn't. It doesn't exist. There are two layers. It's like swinging them around each other at all times when it goes around, okay? You do not have magnetism without energy. But you don't have energy without magnetism either. They're interlinked. You can't unlink them. It doesn't make any sense. There was never a donut. What it is a sphere. And it has that shape of the S. That's why it's so, I don't even know if I'm drawing the S properly. Just like that. It has that shape every time it goes around. It's magnetism with energy. The two are linked. You can't unlink them. You just can't. They're two sides of a whole. They're two halves of a whole. It's how they build out. It's the way they always work. There is no donut. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a sphere. You're not reading it properly. You're not seeing what's actually going on. It's when you don't look at things right, you start to build things wrong. And that's what happens. So what happens? Plasma physics, what are they trying to do? Make a donut. What happens? Well, the energy doesn't want to behave inside of a donut. So what do we have to do? Take giant magnetic fields in order to make it behave. Why does it want to behave inside of a donut? Because it doesn't belong in one. It belongs in a sphere. And as soon as you understand that, then the fields work themselves out. This is why they don't understand machinery. Okay, when it comes to anything that has to do with changing the nature and anything, they told you in the Bible it was 3 rings, okay? Not a problem. Why? It's because they don't work in the same direction, but they make the same shape. That's why. There's 3 different types of energy, and they work in different vector directions. That's it. It was as simple as that. Is once you understood that and you let it be free, it'll compress itself. Why can they never figure out that where the serial generator, whatever the hell you call it, with all the magnets running around it? Because they're building out one layer and think that they get the effect, and you can't because it's zones of resonance. There's 3 zones of resonance based on the material that you use, looking for the effect that you want. You got to have an eddy current layer. You got to have a magnetic layer. They all have to work in frequency of, 5 kilohertz of each other in the frequency once they're rotated. That's why it works. If you think it's just magnetic, you're insane. There's more to it. If you don't build it all out, it won't work. If you build one layer of it, it won't tell you anything. It just won't. And if you don't have the right theory in mind when you go for it, you won't have it work out right because there's zones. There's zoning. What is the zoning like? It zones like plasma. Everything zones like plasma. Once you figure that out, man, you'll have it. You could do it with plasma. You could do it with gas. You could do it with energy. It all has the same effect. It all has a counter effect in nature, okay? Because when you think you're just running it this way, you're not, okay? The energy doesn't always flow like that, okay? As you turn the energy goes from a cup like this to like this. Then it'll take another zone that you think is flat, and it'll move it like this, okay? And then they'll start doing this, and you'll have an energy zone like this. That's why you're not seeing it, because you don't think that energy is moving like that when it is. And because you don't see it that way, you'll have problems building this thing all day long. It's a simple way of energy and how it flows because they're counter fields to one another. That's why it's functioning properly. Once you realize that, you realize they build themselves out. It's fairly easy to see it. So you can ask your ChatGPT the same thing. They're going to tell you, if you present it the correct way, what's actually going on. And it's well known in plasma physics. The difference between getting it right is they don't understand the anode cathode effect outside of plasma physics. When you try to apply those physics to something else, they think they can create a ball of energy and it'll sometimes float. That's just not the case. There's no propulsion system in it. It's just a ball. You can make a gravitational ball. You can pull things into it. Okay, that's absolutely a fact. You could do that. You could say, oh my God, it's a static effect. No, not necessarily. It's a charged effect. Yeah, not necessarily. Those two are factors. But it's because you're compressing the energy on the inside and you just now gave it a vector direction for everything to flow to. Is one of the main things that you're spinning it, because they don't see the difference between mass and energy like you do. E equals mc squared, which means that your energy and mass are linked, okay? It means that you can fundamentally change them out with each other. So you can take that energy, and what do I mean by that? Like when you have a gaseous state of energy in a sphere, it works just like a mass ball does, okay? A mass ball with energy on the outside will fundamentally work the same way as an energy zone. As soon as you spin them in one direction and spin another in another direction, it has an immediate impact, okay? Energy equals mass. So what does the speed of light have to do with it? It's the way that the light interacts inside of the energy itself. That's what it is. It's the mirrored effect. It's a reflection of it. It's why things build out that way. We don't see the mirror, but the light always sees the mirror because everything is a reflection of light. Okay, a reflection of energy creates the light. Your room is dark. What you're seeing is the reflection of everything in the room. You're not actually seeing what's right in front of you. You're seeing the reflection of everything. It's a different way to understand things. If you know that, then you'll see light differently and why it comes out to that. You want to go anti-gravitational? Take the gases in the atmosphere themselves, run them faster than the Swinger limit, and you'll break gravity. Are you pushing against something at that point? No. You're creating a field bubble. But that's the first step in anti-gravity, is you have to separate yourself from the environment. You have to see that. Once you separate yourself, then you can create a vector direction with energy itself. Just like we saw in the round. You saw it hit the energy and boom, it was instantly moved to the other side. Why? Because it was creating a force on something that had no apparent weight to it. Why? Because it was outside the gravitational field, but inside the gravitational field at the same time, which basically means that it created its own gravitational field around it that was not taking place, how to say this, that was not being affected by the gravitational field it was in. So it created its own. It was stronger than the field that it was in, because we can all agree gravitation is a relatively weak field as far as it's spread out. Let me just make sure that's clear. It's spread out so far that it seems like a weak field. You're compressing it inside of a ball, which means it seems like extremely strong inside that understanding of that environment, which means that it takes precedence over anything else. Therefore, the propulsion you give that makes all the difference in the world. It's not acting inside the energy that's spread out everywhere. It doesn't even feel it. Anti-gravitation is not what you think. You're not repelling against the earth at all. You're creating a field bubble with inside that you can create your own direction out of it. It's a complete misunderstanding it's not inertial mass reduction. I know that's what everybody thinks. You put it on a scale. Guys, I could probably put my gravity flyer on the scale tomorrow and the scale would read 0. It's not what you think it is. It's because it has its own gravity. The more mass that I attach to this thing, the better it is at gravity. Why? Because it's a grounding effect. Mass is always a grounding. It's always the negative in your system. Okay? It's the more mass, the better off it is. It seems wrong because you're thinking of airplane physics, which is the less mass, the easier it is to lift. It's a complete opposite when you're dealing with energy states. It's the heavier the mass, the easier it is to lift. Completely different. Complete different understanding. You're not working it the same way. I mean, you're finding an environment in which inside that you have little to no reduction in energy at all. You're environmentally trapping energy. Think about that. That's what ball lightning is. It's an entrapment of energy inside of a ball. Why would you want to use that? Because it creates zoning. It creates a zoning on the outside, which creates compression on the inside, which causes a gravitational effect based on the amount of mass inside of that compressed field. That's what you're looking for. It's completely opposite of the way people describe it. I don't know what to tell you, man. We'll see it here soon. That's for sure. We'll see it here real soon. Oh, Sean, you say another thing. I didn't see it on there. I tried to pull it up. There was nothing there. Yeah, I think as well. Well, once you guys figure this out, there's no getting around it. It's going to be the difference in material you use and the eddy currents and stuff like that. And there's different little parts to it, man, that just make things work. And I figured it out a long time ago, man, that there was a field bubble around this gravity fire that we built. It was just getting it compressed. That was the hard thing. It's getting it compressed because you're dealing with open air. But once you see it, like we saw with Courtney and that Tesla ball, man, once you see the energy, you see what it does to the environment, there's no getting around it at that point. You saw what you needed to see. You saw that energy, man. You saw that field build out. There was no getting around it. Clear as day, it was there. It was structuring all of the air around that lightning bolt before it even shot out. It was already structured. How did it know where to go? I don't know. Okay. We'll find that one out. But I know that it did it and I saw it. And it was clear as day. So once you see it, you understand it. So right on, Sean. Yeah, if it pops up, man, I'll send it in right now. Let's see. Here you go. Turn the volume back on this thing. Look at that rab right in the center. Oh, I love it. Hold on. I got to download this and show you this. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I had things going on. I was hearing something. Look at that. It builds right out in the center. By the way, the vacuum effect, in case you're wondering, the yellow is going back up to the anode because of the vacuum. It's creating a vacuum in there. So it's taking the energy that's usually around the white part of the RAV and it's forcing it back up to a vacuum. There we go. Now the condition exists right there. And stop pulling it up. You could see right there. You could see the energy build around it. You could see the pink part building out with the white inside of it. Right there. And if you look at the zone that goes around the entire thing, right there, the center of the mass is in between the RAV itself and that object. It's not centered out properly. I don't know if you can see it. The center of the mass is in between the two. It's pulling from one area to another. Oh, right there was a better shot. See if we have it. Oh, come on. Yeah, you can clearly see it right there. Look at that. It builds out. Where's the center? It's in between the two. You see the RAV in the cylinder. You see the pink and the green on the light on the left. And then the center of the mass of the big circle around the whole thing is in between the two. It's not centered out in the green portion with the pink around it. It's not centered out in the RAV itself. It's centered out in between of them where the exchange is happening. It's clear as day, man. Well, I'll be honest with you, man. This is one of those things, it's a validation moment, to be honest with you. This is how you see it. When you can build a structure and it shows you what's going on, you want to believe that it's light and plasma and all this stuff. Well, this is showing you how it works. When it gets into a bigger environment or it doesn't have the cylinder around it, it does the same thing. One of the ways, they always say when you do this stuff, film it from two different angles. Okay, have two different cameras on it. Take your old camera, put it to one side, put your new camera, whatever, in front of it, however you want to see that, and then videotape it. And if it comes out with the same exact thing, then guess what? It's not some kind of a lens effect. The lens is actually allowing you to see this thing in a two-dimensional form when it's built in 3 dimensions. So we can clearly see everything in it, but it's only in 2D. We're lacking dimension. Put 2 cameras on it, you see the dimensions. You put 4 cameras on it, you know what I mean? As you see this thing, it'll dimensionally start to build out. We're only seeing it in 2D right here. But when you see it in person, there's 3 dimensions for sure. It's an interesting thing. can you see it because it's magnifying? That's an interesting thing. When it gets in that close, you can absolutely see it. You have to have a certain distance, that's for sure. I've done it with, how do I say this? Mirrorless. So the digital camera and the mirrored. And I'm coming up with the same thing. So it's definitely in both. And I shot it at 2 different directions. Okay. It is dimensional. If you see it in person, you can see the dimension in it. There was no getting around that. Joe said he's seen it. I've seen it. I'm pretty sure Sean's seen it as well. If you can see the thing up close, half the time you're blinded by the thing. Like a laser red. You know what? I'll validate everything for you. We'll have to take some more pictures. Yeah. Yeah, the tube's definitely dimensional. Like I said, you're only seeing the tube in 2D right now. Yeah, it's so fascinating though. Right on. Also seeing it in your prototype. Right on. Yeah, it's definitely blinding. Nice. So cool it does that. So hold on. Time energy. I just want to check this out. You said how many times Nathan said the time difference are nearby the Tesla coil. It means that time has a magnetic component. You don't think that. Time has an energy component. How many times to say this? You're amplifying energy. So I want to say this right, so I want to make sure I the full screen here. We're amplifying energy, so it's not exactly how you think of it. And how do I want to say this? You have a scale you're on, okay? And just understand this. Every time you added a component to the scale, okay, one of them has to magnify. So I could be over here and say, all right, I know I have time that goes in as soon as I start the energy, right? No matter what, I have time. No matter what, I'm going to have a high voltage and a voltage and an amperage to everything. As soon as I understand that, I know that I have magnetism in it. Now, does magnetism have to be 99% of it like everybody thinks it is? Hell no. Most of the time it's 1%, okay, or less, which you wouldn't notice it. But then again, you have radiation that goes in that scale as well. So you go, how much radiation is there in low voltage? Well, it's very minimal. You wouldn't even be able to pick it up. But as soon as it goes high voltage, that radiation spikes, right? You have compression, which is another component, okay? When you understand that you have compression in it, you understand why you get radiation when compressed in a small area, just like a vacuum tube does. why it creates X-rays coming out of it, because you're compressing high voltage. Okay. Every time you add that extra layer, okay, when I add a temperature differential into it, you understand that there's another component. Which one are you amplifying? Okay, they're all present at all times. That's what energy is. Every one of them is present at every single bit of time. It's the amount of magnification to each component which makes a different environmental condition. So you can crank radiation through the roof by compression, but you can also reduce it by reducing the compression of it. We live in a field of energy. That's correct. Okay. But it is not to a point where it's compressed so densely packed in the energy that we're getting super radiation. But it is compact enough that we are getting radiation. Okay. You got to remember that. You're also dealing with entropy in your system. That's another component. All of them are present at all times. When they write the law of energy, they wrote it wrong. They didn't put all those things in there because they didn't, they don't account for them. When it's in a dormant position in low voltage, you don't see it. When you get into super high voltages, you see it everywhere. You can't avoid it. That's what I'm trying to say. So it all depends on which state you're in, but it's all the same thing. They're all created out of the same thing. That's why they're all energy. But it all depends on which one that you're amplifying the time. I don't think magnetism's in most things that people think they are. Let me just say that up front, okay? If people say it's all magnets, it's all magnetism. That's not correct. That's not correct in any way. There is a magnetic component to everything. Yes. Is it all magnetism? Absolutely freaking not. Not a chance in this world. Just not. Sometimes it's, high voltage potential. It's very tiny magnetism in it. Okay. Sometimes you deal mostly with entropy. Okay. So it gives you your temperature on the earth. It's hot in the core. It's cooler up higher. Okay. That's your entropy in your system working. Yeah. That's just the way I see it. I mean, everybody can see it the way they want to. I just think it's on such a minuscule scale sometimes that you can write it off. And I think most people do. They use it as a rounding error in physics and they just throw it away. I don't accept that because it shows up because it's dormant sometimes. I tell you what, they got me with that one. When I did my Tesla coil inside of my Tesla coil, and I wasn't thinking about radiation, right? I was just thinking about, man, I need to get to a higher energy state. So what's better than one Tesla coil? Two. I didn't really realize the compressive state that I was putting the inner one in. And when I didn't realize that, I put out radiation. And it showed up in the light bulbs and stuff that you were putting on top of it, showed up as radiation. And why was it doing that? It was because I was compressing it. So when I want to put a Tesla coil inside of a Tesla coil, if I want to take a ball Tesla coil and put it inside of a bigger ball Tesla coil, I have to have a radiation detector because I know I'm going to compress that energy. Therefore, I'm going to create radiation out of it, which radiation's great for structuring the environment around you. Okay. So I didn't realize that at first. And then I got a lot of smart people in my audience kept telling me, dude, you're giving yourself x-rays all day. And I go, well, you're right. I was. Absolutely. And it didn't show up in the regular Tesla coil. There wasn't a whole lot of radiation you would think show up. But then again, people have died because they played with the radiation in a Tesla coil and they didn't realize it either. So, man, a lot of components, and time's always one. And you got to understand this. If you really want to talk about time and energy, you have to understand why it's not rotating at on the same level. Like if you say your rotation goes like this, right? Say your rotation is like this. Why does the other rotation have to be like this? And then another one like this, while the last one is like this or this? And it's because in order to dial in the time itself, you must have rotating fields 3 to 4 within each other. That's why. It doesn't work without it. Time does not exist without it. It's we see it on the oscilloscope the wrong way all day long. We see it in waves. It's not. It's compression causing the waves. Okay, the waves exist because of the compression. The compression exists because of the energy levels on each way it's rotating. That's the only way you get the compression the right way in an energy field in order to get gravity. Yeah, it's the interaction. Trust me, I had to go through this myself, man, and learn about it the hard way. Creating the stuff in Tesla coils, spherical Tesla coils. You know what I mean? We did peanut Tesla coils. We did everything to throw this energy around to see what it would do. One of my other experiments sitting on the bench right now is my Tesla coil, a spherical Tesla coil inside of my bigger spherical Tesla coil, which has the outside like this, and then it moves like a gyroscope. Okay. So you're getting the gyroscope energy out of it, but you have compressive fields inside of it. That thing should create some radiation. That's why I wanted to make sure we got the radiation detector before it, because I expect to see quite a bit of it coming out. What I would like to do is throw some aluminum in there with it. And I might just put a layer of epoxy and put a layer of aluminum in and then epoxy it again, because I want to get the convection layer of energy. I also want to get the eddy current layer of energy. And anytime that you have one field of energy, it'll create in 90 degrees of it, the eddy current layer, if you lay it in there the right way, right? But then the magnetism to the aluminum causes the convection layer, right? So we'll get all four of them, man, in what we want. We're going to get a magnetic component in the center. We're going to get a high voltage potential on the outside. We're going to get an eddy current, and then we're also going to get convection. Those are the four things you need in order to create the energy field properly. And then we're going to be able to gyroscope this thing because of the way the number one is, and make it move this way or that way, however we want to pin it. It'll do it based on where the number one coil's at. That's what I think's interesting, man. We're definitely getting radiation out of that sucker. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited about that one, man. I'm just trying to work out every little piece of it before I finalize it. You know what I mean? Because it takes some time to get it right, and then epoxy doesn't always like to work with you unless you put it in shells, which might actually be the best thing. 3D print a structure like Sean did with his, but do it on the inside and layer it. Thin layer. We don't have to go through thick, an eighth inch. I think that might work. Build an eighth inch on the inside, put aluminum foil on it, put another eighth inch over top of it, then put the inner sphere inside of it. And we can work it. The inside Tesla coil has to go like a motor like this all the way around. You know what I mean? Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. The outside has to go the other way to create the magnetic field properly like the Earth would, because it goes out like this on each side. Definitely an interesting thing. Yeah, I wish I can get it all to rotate freely. God, that'd be so nice. Yeah, I agree with you with the rotation, though. Yeah. That RAV has all that rotation. We just don't realize it. One field creates the rest and sends it on a journey a different direction, and as it encounters the next one, it changes the vector of the next direction of it, and it builds like that all the way around till you get to the point where you started at this angle and you ended at this angle. Well, if you create them inverse of each other, I don't think people understood that when Brock did. The young man that did the Tesla coil, and he was using the center of the Tesla coil in order to create the energy out of it, right? In order to get the X-ray to work. When Brock did that, man, it was really cool. Yeah, and I bet you if we took one of Sean's Tesla coils and AC, we could do the same thing with it. It'd work in the same fashion. So that's always interesting, man. Oh, check this out. I'll show you this right here. Paul sent me a something real quick right here. Look at that. That looks like he's on a, is that a flat tab of copper? And I see a round copper rod. See if we can make that bigger. Dude, that's really cool. Look at that. It looks like I can't see it because we don't have the video of it, but I have a picture of it. Yeah, that's pretty cool because it looks like it's building out a RAV, but I can't tell if it is or not. But all the colors are there. Look at that. It's layered the colors. Look at that. So when everybody talks about the wave and stuff like that, in order to create light, look at this right here. It builds out in a sphere, and as the sphere builds out each section of it, it creates the colors. It's like a rainbow effect. Nice. Yeah, everybody talks about waves. I don't think they quite understand what they're looking at. They think it's a wave on the oscilloscope. It's really not. It's building out in spheres, so it's building out in structured. Every rainbow builds out in a structured pattern, just like this does. Huh, that's fascinating. Okay. So if you ever look at a rainbow, you see this right here and you see different colors. Think of it like this. It's a sphere, okay? And it's telling you there's structure there. There's a different energy level at each line that goes across. Every color has a different energy level. And if you can understand that, then you can understand why you see the colors of the rainbow in that pattern. Okay? It's always telling you that there's something going on with energy that you didn't realize right away. You know what I mean? Light is hitting the field. As soon as the energy hits the field, the amount of amplification of that energy in a high energy state creates the light. That's why they say, is it a particle and a photon, or a particle and a wave? Well, there's no little particles, okay? The guy who came up with the little balls, okay, it's just not there, okay? Just those little balls out there, okay? It's when energy comes into hits something else, and that other thing creates a higher energy state, you get light. That's all it is. There's no little balls running around out there. Nobody lost their balls. None of that stuff's going on. Okay. I've never seen it. I've done high voltage for years now. I've never come across it ever, unless it was a negative effect in the system where it created plasma as a ball. That's the only time I've ever come across it. And that's not something you want in your system. I've never seen it any other way. Those electrons are built out just like the RAV built out satellites, okay? They build out just like that, okay? They come out, and it's based on the energy around something. So if you have a spherical structure, there's an energy that goes all the way around it, okay? We like to call this stuff scalar, okay? Is it really scalar? It's more of like an energy field that goes around it, okay? 360 degrees. When we look at it through a camera, it shows it in 2D. Just remember that. So it would be a sphere, with a sphere, with a sphere, and then each energy level has its own light, but it builds out in that, and you can clearly see it when it blinks. you'll see the other parts light up. It'll go ding, 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 ding. And it'll hit a structure, and then that structure will light up. Huh. I don't know. Fucking little balls out there. Okay, not in the way they're describing them. Okay, like, oh my God, there's balls everywhere. No, there's not. There's just not. They don't work like that. Will a particle have something in it that can amplify to a higher energy state? Yes. Is that what they're seeing as their particle? Yeah, it is. I can tell you that right now. You shoot a laser on that sucker, man, set a pre-existing condition on it, and then shoot it again, you're going to create a RAV in that structure. Little particles, man. But they're not, there's little things in the air. They're dust in the air. They're, you know what I mean? Little piece of quartz in there. Whatever it is, it's in the air and it hits it and it'll amplify the energy to make a higher energy state in it. They're not free-floating energy balls. Those are ball lightning, and that comes by a very specific pattern that comes from electricity itself. So, a lot different than the way they like to explain it. They like to tell you, oh, there's so many little balls in this piece of wire. There's no fucking balls in that wire. It's just not. There's none. There's no balls in that wire. No balls of energy in the wire, okay? They're not bumping butts to get to the next one, okay? I'm sorry. That's a fallacy. Okay, so that's not what's going on. It's a field state. It's energy that in a field that wraps the wire. Not little balls. I've never seen it. Guys, look, I've been doing this a long time and I've never seen it. Never seen little balls. I'll tell you what, you gotta imagine them. If I have to imagine them, they don't exist. Okay. All right. If I gotta play playtime and imagine them in my head, then they don't exist, buddy. Not in the way you're saying that they exist. Okay? I mean, everything shows itself on high voltage, and it tells you that there's little balls and they're bumping butts. Okay? I think it's the dumbest thing on the earth, brother. I'm sorry, I just do. They don't work like that. Oh man. Let's see, but the light can be like emulsified to a plate of steel. Are you trying to say that light can show up on a plate of steel? Sure it can. But it's a reflection of the energy state that creates the light. It's, how do I say this? So much different than we think it is. We think light is filling your room. It's not. It's the higher energy state that is being put upon objects to create the light in your room. There's no physical light in front of me. It's all dark. I know it doesn't seem that way, but it actually is. It's all dark. There's no physical light in front of me. It's the energy being put into something around me and reflected back. Yeah, they them balls. I agree with that. That's funny. Fireballs, that's right. Fireballs. Yeah, once you start dealing with high voltage plasma, man, you guys are going to start to see all this stuff build out. And you kind of see how it grows from one thing to the next. And it also tells you a lot of things that tell you there aren't. That a lot of the things that they say are different things are actually the same thing. It's just a different environmental condition. So, yeah, fireball, that'd be something, man. Well, hey, it's coming up, man. You get your sparklers ready, get your fireball ready, man. Oh, imagine blowing fire with that. Take your little twinkler. That stuff is like acid coming out of your mouth, man. That stuff's terrible. You notice that, huh? Oh, there's only one hand rule. They only have one ball. I put on the little thumbnail on there, 2 balls. I was wondering if anybody noticed why there's 2 blue balls on a shaft. instead of just one. There's an inside joke for you. Oh, I love it. Huh. Oh man, they're already blowing everything up there in Florida. Nice. The NASA rockets fireworks. Has two hands, Dennis. Oh man, one for each. Yeah, man, you got some massive blue balls there. If you need two hands for them, man, a lot to handle. Oh man. Oh wow. The rainbow curves, but similar rainbows straight, not curving. So the rainbow, not the word. Colored wavelengths happen. I don't know if you were talking crap there, Ben, or if you're trying to be serious on that. Oh man, that'd be bad. That would be bad. Yeah, we don't want to add any of that. We're over here with Victor's going to blow us all up with that one. Yeah, that'd be bad. Got man capacitors. I love it. We got a higher energy state in those band capacitors. Love it. There are no straight rainbows. Oh, what do I have going on for 2026? Yeah, I was letting everybody know, man. I got a little stuff in to do my Bedini motor the exact way Bedini did it. The big wheel with the big fan on the side. We're doing that in January, man. That's my big build for January. I decided, guys, like I don't want to do a ton of little videos. I want to do a build each month. So I'm gonna do the Bedini build in January. All the small stuff that I usually put out, I'm just gonna put it out to the members. You know what I mean? Little tiny experiment stuff, but I want to do a big video every month and try to do the best job that I possibly can, videotaping it and everything, getting all the information in and stuff like that. February, we're doing the Renegade, which is Mike over there on the Faraday Research Channel. We're going to do his Renegade machines with the pulse motor there. And that's going to be in February. In March, I planned out to do Tesla, a full dive on everything Tesla. Just do like a massive 3-hour video on Tesla. And we are going to make pancake coils for that one, the small flat ones. And we are going to do the bifilar Tesla coil or bipolar Tesla coil. And we are going to do regular Tesla coil, stuff Tesla would have done. Also have another coil. It's more like the way Tesla built his coils with the spacing in between them. And I can't get it to run without a frequency generator right now. So I'm going to have to figure that out because it's not pulsing back and forth, and I don't know why. But that's going to be for the third one. So that's March. And then I haven't decided what we're doing for April. So those are my big builds every month. And I think that's what I'm going to do for here on in is do a big build each month. You know what I mean? I have a ton of parts now. I spent a lot of money. So we'll do that. We'll build each one out. I think in April, I want to do my Tesla coil inside my Tesla coil in spherical structure. I think I'll be ready by then. I think that's what April's going to bring. So one big build a month is what I'm planning on. And then all my little testing and stuff, I'm going to send to the members part of the channel so you can watch all that. I want to see if that algorithm's going to pick it up and do the same thing it does for Plasma Channel and stuff like that, where they only do a build a month and they, you know what I mean? But they make a real good video out of it and do a good job on it. I think that's what I want to do. So, but then do live shows, man, and hang out and have fun with you guys. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the way to go, man. I think that's what everybody wanted to see. I'll be honest with you, man. Do a nice video and do it right. Give all the math in it. Um, so yeah, I'll share anything that you need. By the way, Darren, just let me know. I'll make sure you get it, even if I don't have it posted somewhere. If I show it and I have it, I mean, I'll send it to you. Uh, so here, hold on. I'll show you. I got some of the parts sitting over here. Give me just a second. Let me pull this real quick. So let's take a look. I got the tape here that go over the top. We have aluminum bicycle wheel. Okay. So pretty good size on there. Got 10 pounds of wire right here. So that'll go for the windings. And then I have a different color to go on for the trigger wire. So that'll work out. And then all this stuff came in here. Right here are MOSFETs for everything. We got our diodes over here. And let's see, this came in the other day. Let me get it open. These are the cores right here. So we got the core of the Bedini right here. Like I said, they'll be bifilar. So what I'm going to do is run out the lengths of wire, and then I'll take my drill on this side and spin it, and it'll spin that whole wire up, all the wires in it, and then we'll wrap it on one of these. And then that'll give us everything that we need. The only thing I needed was the heat sink. I didn't know how big to order one, you know what I mean, until I got the transistors in, because they're a bit bigger than regular transistors. Now that I have that, it should be fairly straightforward on how to do that. I got a bunch of wood over here next to me, and we're going to use that to build out the framework of it. That's going to be awesome in itself. The whole idea, guys, is to make it look exactly like Bedini did it, build it like he did. I got batteries that I got put over here. I have my diesel batteries that came out of my truck to see if I can't make those things work. I also have some scooter batteries that are dead. See if we can get those alive again. And then I have a motorcycle battery. I think it's 35 amp hours or 40 amp hours. In order to get everything started and run, if that's not big enough, I'll buy a normal one, get 100 amp hours and run that. So yeah, I think that's going to be cool, man. We'll be able to see all the effects of it. I think that's going to go real good when we do the Renegade the next month, because then we'll be into pulse motors and what they look like and how that works. I think, man, that's going to be awesome. So is the core diameter big enough? Are you talking about on these right here? Yeah, I looked at the video a million times for Bedini. He used a smaller inside one because he's using bifilar coring. I have another one coming that's thicker on the inside, right here on this little cylinder, thicker on the inside, but I think those are going to be for the Renegade. But Mike says he uses a lot of wire, so 2 pounds is what he said each core has to be, or each one of these has to be 2 pounds. So they're a bit shorter, a little fatter in the center, so 2 pounds of wire would be perfect for his Renegade. Huh. Yeah, I think learning from one, taking it to the next would be awesome. So, right on, brother. I appreciate that dispatch. Yeah, more wire does help. Yeah. What's up, Ulysses, man? Happy New Year, my friend. So, yeah, we're going to figure out everything there is to know about these guys. So, those are the ones I have planned right now. And I'm going to make an Edwin Gray tube as well. I don't know when I'm going to schedule that one for, but a gray tube is on the list. It's because we already know how he did it. We already know how he popped DC into AC. I just got to find the corresponding motor I want to use for the AC on that. I still don't know exactly which one I want to use for it, but we're going to do Edwin Gray and we're going to see if we can't create the same thing, because he's taking like a DC Tesla coil, he's putting AC into it just like Hutchinson did, transferring it right away because he's using coil inside a coil effect, and then he has a third coil around it. Okay, all three are in there. He pops it, goes right into AC. I have to see the caps that we get, because I get the big cap that's blue, and I like how it builds stuff in there with the potential, but I need smaller caps because I need the discharge rate to be faster. Charge faster, discharge faster. And I think that was the key to what they were trying to pull off when they were doing that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to be the way to go on this. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I got a ton of magnetic wire. I don't know if you guys know this or not. When it calls for like a pound and a half, I just buy 5 pounds. It's just easier for me. I don't have to worry about anything. I could build it 2 or 3 times. So I tend to want to buy a little more. But I got 10 pounds right here that I just showed. I got 2 more spools of 26 gauge at 5 pounds a piece. I got another 28 gauge at 5 pounds. I have another 32 gauge at 5 pounds. I have a 30 gauge. I think I only got about a couple pounds of that one. Trying to buy all the different ranges so I could build all these different things. And yes, it does get expensive. I probably got like $2,000 of wire sitting here alone, just to do some of these projects, wind Tesla coils, things like that. And then building out everything, it's not as always easy. You got to get all the little nitpicky parts. That's what kind of takes some of the stuff. A lot of little tiny parts that goes into this, guys, in order to build some of it. I have over here a little frequency circuit I built. Let me grab that because a lot of people like to see that one. Give me a second. So I got this one here that I'm going to test out, and it's based on my original design of how to put frequency into a flyback. So it's basically, I know there's a lot of wires, guys. We have our negative right here that goes into our DC flyback. We have a positive right here. What we have right here is just a transistor that runs everything. So it goes right here. There's a little resistor right here. Okay. There's the double part that goes to our positive that goes right here. Right here. I believe that coming out of the collector. And it all goes down to a little trigger circuit. And you get this trigger circuit in here and you put it in there. One of the sides right here is voltage going to it. This is voltage coming from it. So this part gets connected over here to our battery or power source. This part right here does frequency. So you got a high and a low on your PWM signal coming out of this side of this trigger circuit. It goes into right here. So this part right here generates your PWM signal. And it allows you to control your duty cycle as well. And then that just gets connected over here to your power source right here. And that just takes a little, 12 volt, 9 volt power source right there. But this will allow you to change any frequency you want in your DC flyback, and it'll allow you to change frequency in your AC flyback. It's right now just built out kind of like in an experimental form in the way that I did it. And what happens is I'll test out the circuit, and if I like it, then I'll put it into an STL and then make it available for you guys. If you wanted to make one or build one or just buy one, you could. So wanted to show that circuit out there. It's really neat, man, how this stuff works. It's just putting a sine wave over a basic square wave signal, but the ability to control something, you know what I mean, like a DC flyback or AC flyback, is a tremendous help when you're going out to do some of this stuff and what you're working with. So kind of a neat little circuit. It's all kind of experimental form with wires everywhere, but it does work. Trust me. This is not the first one I've done. This is like the third generation of it. The part that was different in it is I bought this new little module they had on there. I wanted to see if it worked better because it looks super clean and nice when it all lights up compared to the little tiny one I had before. So kind of neat, man. So must go to work. Right on, brother. Have a good day at work, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been working a lot behind the scenes, man. I haven't had a lot of time, to be doing a lot of this stuff on air. So I took some of the time during the holiday when people weren't here, man. I snuck in my garage, started building stuff. So it's actually kind of neat, man. Got some real peaceful time in. Just soldering, you know what I mean? Watching some Stargate. One of my favorite shows, Stargate and Stargate SG-1, and then Stargate Atlantis. I just like the aspect that they go out into space and different things like that. And I'd love to see more of the technology in it. Some of my favorite parts are where they have high technology episodes. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm really into that Star Trek stuff like that. Anything that has to do with technology and comes out to it, and they show a little part of it. That's kind of the exciting part for me. So anyway, yeah, we got some cool stuff in the schedule, man. So I think the way that I did it works out better. I can just film it, piece by piece by piece, and then boom, put out one great video on it. And then hopefully, we'll build the channel that way this next year. We're at, close to 9,500 subs. So I want to see if we can't get it, to at least, let's see, what we do this year. We were around 1,000 or 2,000 last year. So we got over 8,000 subscribers in what, a year's time? Something like that. I think it was like 300 a month is what we're averaging. So 3,600, maybe 4,000 this year is what it came out to be. That's not bad. I want to see if we can't do it at 10 next year. You know what I mean? Just more than double. So I'm hoping it goes far, guys. The more money that comes in, man, the more experiments we do, the more cool stuff we build. So you say 30K prediction, man? There you go. There's one for you, Paul. Got a prediction? Dude, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping we get it up there, guys. Thank you for that, Dennis. I appreciate it, man. I'm hoping we get there, man. So, yeah, got new floors, man. So, right on, brother. Appreciate doing the memberships, man. So, for those of you who didn't know, this year I've been renovating in here, and I'm sure you saw it, like the background behind me. We did the Old Man Build logo on the door. It used to be white. I got everything over here with my 3D printer set up so that we can get a camera over there and make it look clean. So we painted that all black. It used to be just wood color. We built out those little containers there for all the extra PLA that comes off these things, man. I didn't show you the printers, but I went through and reworked most of them. I have 4 of them over there. 2 of them are kind of buried a little bit. I need like a little drawer for them. I'll work on that. But I redid the floors in here. I put laminate floors in my garage, guys. Again, we built out different areas. I got just a workshop zone right next to me for all my soldering stuff with a camera right over top of it. That's pretty cool. That was something new that came in this year. I haven't been able to utilize it as much as I should have. But we're buying better stuff, man. I got, better audio equipment. I got a camera that's better. All upgrades, man. Got the whiteboard out there. I introduced that this year. I like flipping that thing when we're doing it, man. It's fun. I got to get back to that. But yeah, we're just trying to upgrade everything as we go, man. I put a lot of personal money in here along with a lot of show money to get it worked out. But the goal is, keep doing experiments, keep working on this stuff, man. Does the floor matter? Not really, but it matters when you want to come into a zone and be in Zen. I'll tell you that right now. Coming in here, man, because the last guy that owned my garage, what was that, 15 years ago or longer, they put paint everywhere, all over the walls, just handprints on the walls, everything. And man, I hated it. So I said, screw this. And I've been planning this for a long time, man. And when it went on sale, I bought it. And let me tell you, I learned how old I really am when I got down there and tried to do this stuff. And it's not old in how many years I am. You could probably tell I'm not, not that old. I'm getting close to 50, but that's not that bad. It's when I get down on my knees, man, they hurt. My back hurts from 4 screws and 2 plates in it, man. It hurts. Can't do things like I was 18 anymore. You know what I mean? It's just not the same. So yeah, I found out how that works. So yeah, but I got through it, man. Santa bring me a magnetic viewing screen. I wish he did. Oh man, that's one thing I did want. Something that showed me all that, but didn't get any of that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like sand either, man. I'll be very honest with you. I don't go to the beach anymore. I live in California, man. Great beaches everywhere, by all means. But there's also some big sharks out there, man. And I got to the point where I'm more like a fat seal out in the water where you can harpoon me versus a swimmer. And being in a wetsuit wouldn't look so good to normal people, but to a shark, man, I'm the most attractive thing in the world. So I ain't doing it, brother. Those days are over. You can have that. I just like the weather out here. That's it. You know what I mean? I like the fact that it's sunny most of the time. Because when you get in cold weather, man, you got plates and screws in you. They hurt. They hurt a lot. Yeah, I'm not a beach guy. Okay. Yeah, if you're the fat seal out there, man, even the locals will try to harpoon me if I go out there. I know what weight I am, man. I'm not stupid. Yeah, I ain't doing that, man. No, thank you. It's not in my agenda. So I'm just gonna hang out in my garage here, and I like the nice weather out here, and you know what I mean, just cool things, man. So. All right, man, I'm going to show you guys some other thing real quick. Paul sent me something, so I'm going to show it real quick. He's got some cool plasma, man, that goes on. Look at that. You can see all the rainbow colors in there, man. Nice. Ooh, that one I want to see in a better picture. I'm going to have to lighten that up. He's got some zoning going on there. Oh, look at that. Got a lot of magnetism in there. You can see the different colors. That one's cool. Look at that. You got the golden ratio in that one, man. Look at that. That's just beautiful to look at, man. Just energy swirling in a vortex makes perfect golden ratio. Definitely got it right, man. That's impressive. Yeah, the geometry's harmony. Yeah, I'm there with you, brother. Yeah, there you go. I keep saying it, man. I'm sure everybody says it with me in the chat, man. Geometry is absolutely what you have to have. There's no getting around it. That's what builds everything. Lattice structure, geometry, and you see the colors. You know, Dispatch was asking about the colors, or you can see it. This is one of the best representations of color I've ever seen. All depends on how much energy the state's in there. So cool. You can see the purple on the inside, and it goes all the way through. It kind of goes to the loop around the inside. And then the multicolor you can see around it like a rainbow. Man, that's awesome. Paul, you got something special there, man. That's awesome. It looks like it's inside of a magnet, too. So if you look on the outside, you can see the reflection of the green on the top portion there. It looks like he's inside of a circular magnet. You know what I mean? You can kind of see the outlines. It looks like it. Sean was saying that if you created the RAV inside of a magnet, it has a different effect. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'd like to see the video of that as well. So, absolutely agree with you on that. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, guys. Man, it's been a fun show, guys. We're getting close to 3 hours today, man. I want to give some shout outs here. I want to shout out to Lightspeed, gave 5 Old Men Builds memberships, man. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Well, also, Darren, 5 Old Men Build membership, man. You rock, brother. Awesome, man. I want to thank Sean. He gave a $20 super sticker, man. Thank you very much, Sean. Dude, I appreciate all you guys, man. You guys are doing totally awesome, man. I appreciate it. Man, we're going to have a great year, man. I can't wait for 2026, man. We're going to rock this thing out. So, with that said, man, I'm going to change some graphics here coming up in the next year with all my stuff. So, man, it's going to be awesome. Hey, Friday, Joe and I are going to have an awesome show, man. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It's been a while. We also have with Traveling Fools on Friday, man. We're doing a show. It's going to be awesome, man. It's a New Year's show for them. Man, going to be awesome, man. It's going to be a fun Friday. If you guys haven't checked out, man, Traveling Fools, when we do it, shows up on my channel, but over there as well. Dude, it's just a fun time, man. If you like talking balls, you like talking about fun stuff, man, totally get, raunchy once in a while. Usually stays pretty safe, but it's always fun, man. It's always a cool place to hang out. Fridays, man, I do that at 7:30. Also, Faraday Research Channel, man. Do that channel as well, man. Awesome Friday. We usually do a show. I'm pretty sure he's going to do a show this Friday. Awesome, man. Always has different guests on there. Really cool guests lately, man. I saw some awesome ones on there as well as being part of that, man. So, anyway, guys, be safe out there. Whatever you do, try to be safe. You know what I mean? I'd like to see you guys here next year. So, be safe. Have fun, man. Hopefully, everybody got what they wanted for Christmas, but hopefully, y'all have a nice New Year, man. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next year.
The old man will. The old man will. The old man builds. The old man builds.
The old man builds is broken in the head. People not seeing reality has put them in the red. Where conscious and spirituality restricted from the norm and replaced with the ignorance of basic magnetic form. The geometry of God keeps running through his head. That's what makes old man builds broken in the head. The old man builds.
The old man builds.
Spheres of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend.
The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds.
Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend.
The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds.
Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend.
The old man builds.